Today on the bass channel, we're proving that Dingwall isn't just a bass for metal. Okay, so in somewhat of an unofficial part 2 to our dark glass defense video, today we're taking a look at Dingwall. At least in our comment section, this brand gets unfairly pigeonholed into being exclusively a metal instrument. Now, again, we're guilty of this too. It's far too easy to show this tone. And again, that's a great tone because the Dingwall sound and construction definitely lends itself to more articulation. But again, that's not all it can do. The fan fret construction is not just about the articulation in a metal sense. It's got a lot of advantages. First and foremost being a consistent tension amongst the strings for the different scale lengths, as well as a consistent tone. I'm sure we've all run into a straight standard 5-string 34-inch Fender that sounds great from G to E, but as soon as you get to the B, there's a huge loss of definition, there's a huge loss of tension, and just a huge loss of tone in general. But the Dingwall bass, being a multi-scale instrument from 34 inches to 37 inches on at least the 5-string, that loss of tension and that loss of tone and that loss of clarity is really no longer an issue. So today we're going to explore the merits of this tone and construction in a bunch of different styles that aren't metal. First up, we're just going to turn it to our own Chuck Bailey and Will Agtang, who have played a few examples on both my Dingwall D-Rock and Josh's Dingwall NG2 5-string. We got Chuck doing some melodic examples and Will doing his signature in the pocket groove. So let's cut and check it out. So naturally, as you can hear, there is a tremendous amount of clarity, and obviously you can't feel the tension through the video, but you can at least hear some of the tension on at least the lower strings, in that they have a little bit more of a I think the website uses the word piano tone, and I know that's a really big buzzword, but it's a buzzword for a good reason, because that's a really good way to describe it. It is more of a harmonically rich sound than your thuddy type of sound that you'd associate with the short scale bass, which really, you know, for a 125 or a 130 B string on a 34 inch, that kind of is pretty short for that gauge at that tuning. Okay, moving right ahead, I loaned Jamie both of these same basses. Again, my Dingwall D-Rock and Josh's Dingwall NG2. Now, it's worth mentioning here that the D-Rock is 100% passive, whereas the NG2 is an active bass with a 3-band EQ. It's got the dark glass tone capsule preamp in it. So here's Jamie showing off both of those basses in 4 different styles. But of course, don't just take our word for it. We had a chance to talk to a couple notable Dingwall artists and get a little bit more insight as to why they chose that instrument and what it is about it that works for them in the context of what they do.
My name is Ashley Reeve and I play bass for Cher. One thing I love about my Dingwall basses is, especially like with the low E string and the low B string that sets it apart from every other brand, is anytime I have to drop tune, the string always holds its consistency. It's not, you don't have this floppy string that you're dealing with if you have to like suddenly detune your B down to an A or your E down to a D or whatever it is. It still holds its beefy tone and punch, and you don't have to worry about it like flopping all over the place and sort of losing its intonation, which is so cool. One of my favorite things about the basses. I mean, I played with Filter. That's probably like the heaviest band I've ever played in. But since I've had these in the last 2 years, it's just been Cher. And I've never played a single like metal song with them since,
Right.
you know, and they've done everything from disco to Motown, rock, kind of everything in between. You know, they're. I don't think of them as metal basses at all. I just think of them as super versatile. I didn't expect, because I'd heard so much about the multi-scale necks and everything, and I was a little intimidated by it because it looks so different. And the moment I held one in my hand, I was so impressed with the angle is kind of the way you see it when you look down anyway, so it felt very natural. I've got P basses, I've got J basses. I wanted something a little bit different, and I was just kind of drawn to the versatility of the bass, being able to have, you know, 3 or 4 different tonalities that I could pull out of it. I mean, there's way more than that, but you know, to be able to select very different tones, just I knew that I could probably do an entire show 3 or 4 different styles on that one bass.
Hi, my name is William Shively, and I play bass for Boyz II Men. I've been a 6-string bass player since, like I went from, most guys go from 4 to 5 to 6. I went from 4 to 6. So the story begins from there as far as when I started playing gospel music. Because I was in this big worry and wonder once I finally discovered that people don't tune standard. Like in gospel music, they don't do B, E, A, D, G, and for a 5-string, whatever, you know. So I was like, what do they do? Oh, they tune down flat, you know. So I tried that, and then we started flowing into other songs. I wrote out my chart in, you know, the appropriate key based on, you know, the modulation and everything, and then we started flowing, and then I was lost, and I was like, okay, that's not going to work. Why don't I just do a 6-string F sharp to G? And there it was. And then I started searching around, looked up online to see how I can get an F sharp string. Didn't know what I was going to do, so I finally found one, took it into my luthier, and he chiseled out the nut and made it work for me. You know, ideally a longer scale is better for the F sharp. You're going to get more clarity. And then I was just another worry that I had on my mind. You know, it's like, oh gosh. So I understand, because it was so dark when I was hit that B flat. And I was with Boyz II Men, and I met a bass player named Matthew Dennis, and he was in LA. We were playing at the LA Fair with Boyz II Men, and he was on before us with a different group, and we exchanged information. And when I saw him at NAMM, he was like, "You need to check out the Dingwalls," because he knew like what I was doing and everything with the F sharp, and we say that because this guy, I mean, he's incredible. So I go to check out Dingwall, and I was like, "Oh my God, this is amazing!" Like just from a flip of the switch. I have a Fender P bass, a Fender jazz bass, a Music Man, you know, a Jocko Bridge sound, you know, bass. It was like, that's crazy. So from that moment on, like, you know, that's how I arrived to Dingwall. And then what really made me, you know, happy about it too is because the longer scale. I mean, this is like 37 inches on the F sharp string, on the B. I mean, I think they even say it's 37 and a half. It does give a little more clarity when I'm on that F sharp string, and that's what I like about it, man. It's great. They're great basses.
I'm trying to figure out how to not do like, okay, so that just about does it. You know, like, yeah, we know. I can see the scrubber with 30 seconds left on the clock. I don't need you to tell me the video's over. But like, I also don't know how to do it without saying that just about does it, or that wraps it up, or. So before we go, I think it's worth mentioning that myself and a few others here at the Bass Channel are big metal fans, and there is nothing wrong with using a Dingwall for metal, of course. But what I'm a fan less of is for gear or things or anyone really to be unfairly labeled and pigeonholed and written off into just doing one thing. Yes, of course, Dingwalls are a great choice if you're playing metal, but if you're not, that doesn't make them a bad choice. And hopefully we've showcased in this video that Dingwall does a multitude of things and it does it well. So if this video has helped you decide whether or not Dingwall may work for what you do, or if you own one and already agree with us, let us know down in the comments. We'd love to hear your thoughts on it. And again, thank you all for watching. If you haven't done so, like or dislike, and make sure you subscribe, and we will see you the next time we see you.